Good evening, fastball fans, and welcome back to Milton Field, the Green Valley Sports Complex here in Moline, Illinois, in the Quad Cities. Blair Sedford, Joe Todd on the ISC Network tonight. We bring you the nightcap in winner's bracket quarterfinal action. This is the JB squad from Agora Hills, California, out on the diamond. They'll be taking on the Hill United Chiefs from Oswego, Ontario. And Joe, this is a rematch from the loser bracket final, the USA National Championship a couple of weeks ago. It took extra innings to decide that one then. JB took a 4-3 lead into the 7th inning. Hill United Chiefs tied it. JB went ahead in the 10th. And ultimately were the 6-4 winners in that one. Your predictions tonight, Joe Todd?
I'm not saying a winner, but I'm saying it's going to be a one-run ball game and we're going to be here till the 7th inning. Very undecisive.
Well, you very much hedged your bets there on that one. I don't know if the cool bet guys will give you odds on that. J&B 3-0 here tonight. Joe, tell me how they got here.
Sunday they beat the Kingston Axemen by a 3-0 margin. Monday they beat the Kegel Black Knights by a 2-0 margin. So those are the two games that they played so far. The Hill United team, Sunday they beat Pegasus by an 8-0 score. And on Sunday, Pegasus, they beat the Wander Springs team by a 5-0 score. Something to note on the Hill United team, they've thrown 2 no-hitters so far. They have not allowed a defensive run yet.
The Pegasus game was a no-hitter too?
Pegasus game was no-hitter too.
Oh, wow. Okay, I did not know that one. I knew about the other one. So you learn something every day. Joe Todd, thank you for teaching me that. Shane Boland leading things off for the Hill United Chiefs. He'll be followed by Nick Shales, Brad Ezekiel, Bruno Matroni, Alan Pecker, Steve Mullally, Josh McGovern, Jason Hill playing left field tonight, and we'll pick up that particular thread, and then Tony Gonzalez in the 9 spot for the Chiefs. For J&B, it's Ramon Godoy doing the pitching. He is throwing to Rafael Flores. Left to right around the outfield, it's Mariano Montero in left. In center field for JB, Yusuf Davis. Cesar Rodriguez out in right. And this one downstairs to Shane Boland. Around the horn in the infield, Rogelio Segura plays third base. At short, it's Ishmael Pena. Second is Lenny Villavazo, who still has the longest home run of the ISC World Tournament. And Juan Villavazo is at first. And Boland thought he had worked a walk. Lots of international talent on display here, Joe. You've got players from Canada, the U.S., Australia, New Zealand. You've got Mexico, you've got Argentina, you've got Venezuela, all represented out there, and I'm probably forgetting somebody too, and if I am, we'll get to you.
Sounds like we have a United Nations meeting tonight.
Godoy just misses off the outside corner. A good eye out there by Shane Boland, who has really improved over the last couple of years, Joe, in that department as they've asked him to take on the leadoff duties. And Shane, somewhat of a free swinger when he was hitting in the middle of the order, has taken a lot more walks than he would have when he was batting 4th or 5th.
He has a great eye at the plate.
Nick Shales to the plate. When you think about somebody with a good eye, you do think about this guy. And want to thank Nick Shales and Lumberjack Sports for their support here on the broadcast program. We'll see that spot from Lumberjack. You see some Lumberjack gloves right there.
Roman Godoy has pitched all 14 innings for JB, 28 strikeouts in those 2 games.
Shales turns, squares for the bunt. Jeff Ellsworth, the skipper for Hill United, likes to play small ball early. He will ask Nick to bunt. He'll ask Brad Ezekiel to bunt, even though these guys can go yard at any moment. You get a good look there at Shales. Flores is directing traffic over at first base. Don't be surprised if you see Flores snap a throw down to first. Rafa loves to throw the ball. Joey picked up some time. This was a scheduled 8 p.m. start, and we just got underway about 8:29. So we did pick up some time. We were an hour and a bit late, and now we're only 29 minutes. So
good pace in that Gremlin game.
Godoy not quite yet into the groove. Good pitch there, and foul off into the glove of Flores. Didn't look that crisp, I thought, against Bolin, but he seems to be finding it here against Shales. Full count. This one is laced out to the gap in left center. Boland is going to go coast to coast. And Nick Shales aboard with a single, and runners on the corners. And some early trouble here for the JB squad, as that was pretty much center cut, Joe, right there, and left it right out for Nick Shales to pound out to the gap and left.
Just left too much of that ball on the plate. Came with back-to-back drops there, too. Got to change that sequencing up.
So Brad Ezekiel to the plate, center fielder for the Hill United Chiefs, all the way back to their inception back in 2012. The Chiefs that year would make the ISC championship game, would drop that one in extras to the Jarvis Travelers. They'd go on to win 4 of the next 5, and they've won 5 in 8.
A sus argentinos como está Pecker, Bruno Motroni, está Pablo Migliavaca, está Román Godoy, está también Mariano Montero.
Godoy, and Joe still just can't quite find the range. I thought he was dialing it in there against Shales, but he is struggling for the strike zone right now.
Yeah, he's fighting it a bit. Got to get on that same page with Rafael Flores.
Yeah, I don't even know if he's not on the same page. He just can't find the zone with whatever pitch he's throwing right now. Chop foul on the left side.
Ezequiel con 2 corredores en circulación. Ezequiel, excelente bateador. Saludos a todos, Manolo Vargas. Manera.
You see that seating section in the middle has filled in. Called strike 3. Brad Ezekiel down on strikes. Can't pull the trigger on that one. I think whatever Brad was looking for, that wasn't it.
Yeah, I thought it was a little low too, but I'm not sure. Let's see if we catch it on the replay here.
Looked pretty good.
Yep, right there.
So from Brad Ezekiel to Bruno Matroni, the reigning ISC MVP, although he may or may not give up that crown in a few more days. He's the second or third leading hitter. Joe, last year he was second in RBIs, handled that pitching by committee staff, did everything that you would expect out of Bruno Matroni. This is dead ball off a foot at the plate.
Bruno Motroni. Que su papá debe estar conectado, Alejandro Motroni, viendo
Alan Pecker
desde la Argentina.
moves up into the 5 spot in the order for the Chiefs. So Jeff Ellsworth threw the order into a blender, Joe, and this is what came out. The top 4, pretty consistent, but the bottom 5, he has played with that just about all season long.
De toda América Latina.
Sometimes it's good to shuffle the deck.
Swing and a miss there. Down goes Bruno Motroni. Got him to chase.
Afuera. Es difícil.
And you don't often see Bruno chase out through the opposite batter's box like that. But a pair of strikeouts now for Godoy. Seems to have settled down.
Para estos pelados.
That was a nice pitch. Great movement there.
He'll face his countryman, Alan Pecker. Upstairs for a ball. Shane Boland aboard on the leadoff walk. Came around to third on the hard hit single
Uno de los más rápidos.
by Nick Shales.
Bases. Vamos a demostrar.
Couple of strikeouts since, and Roman Godoy just needs a single out to work out of this jam. And there's a called strike. Shales goes halfway to second and is going to have to belly flop back into first. I don't know if that was an attempt to draw a throw. Flores never has any difficulty throwing anywhere.
Jugando duro ahí, Michelis en la primera base. Alan Pecker. Número 50.
Boland never got off the bag, so I
No.
don't know. Somebody missed a sign, or Shales just trying to goad Flores into a throw and to see if Boland can beat something home.
Alan Pecker que está ahí. El caballete argentino. Presenta a Armando Godoy.
And a chopper on the infield. Got to hurry and bobbled.
Un error.
And a run comes across. I don't know that they were ever going to get Pecker on that play. Boland breaking on contact. Hill United Chiefs break out in front. 1-0.
Entra la primera carrera. Saludos a Luis Coronado.
Steve Mullally now to the plate, and they'll look to build on that lead.
Nos vemos allá en Monterrey.
Joe Pecker's speed just makes anything like that impossible to get him at first. And Boland was 3/4 of the way to the plate by the time the ball came down.
Yeah, and Rogelio Sequeira is really aware that Picard's at the plate. So he's really panicking when the ball's out there. So the speed of Pecker really is just intimidating at times.
Está bateando muy bien.
Definitely makes a difference.
Bateador en turno con dos corredores en base. Arriba el lanzamiento bola. Bola invitral para
A little bit of a lollipop throw there from Flores
I know.
back to Godoy. He had to go 3 yards into the end zone to go get that one.
Quise ir a ese lindo país, México, no manches, no mames. Hay mucha gente que hace un trabajo espectacular, así como el Photochispa, está la gente de
You see the
Nike,
signs flashed by Flores. Looks like he wants to go inside, and this one is fouled off at the plate by the Canadian veteran.
la mirada del
Want to thank Steve for his support here in the broadcast program, too, both Absolute Business Supply and Hilly and Lawley for the Dust Up podcast.
allá y compartir con ellos también. De eso se trata. Tenemos que masificar el softball. La gente lo vea en todo el mundo.
Steve was 2 for 3 in the Wander Springs game with a double and an RBI.
Deporte del mundo que es el softball.
They'll change up and kept the hands back just enough to foul that off. Godoy's got a real good change-up, and Joe, for somebody who throws as hard as Roman, he's going to be touching 80, 81 out there, maybe 82. He dials the changeup back into the low 60s, and it's a bit of an ankle breaker.
And no change in the motion at all, though. Very deceiving.
Rice ball.
Mullally lays off, and that's when you know Steve is dialed in when he doesn't chase that pitch, he will at times go outside the strike zone to chase that rise ball. But when he's dialed in, he's only swinging at strikes, and that's when he's most dangerous. Laces this one right back up the middle. They're going to give the wave to Shales. He'll come around and score standing up. And Mullally adds an RBI and a run to the Hill United total.
Great up the middle single there by Steve Mullally.
Oh, and he hit a strike, too. He didn't go chasing out of the zone. And as you like to say, took the pitch where it was and drove it right back up the middle. Didn't try to pull it.
Yusef Davis charged that ball, too, keeping Alan Pecker at the second base.
Change up, but doesn't get the call on Josh McGovern.
But you'd think that Alan Pecker would be standing at third with a ball to the outfield, but not the way that Yusef Davis defensively charged that.
Well, and they cut the throw, too. It was either Godoy or Villavazo who was coming across, and they cut the throw to ensure that Pecker stays there. But, boy, anything out on the grass, he's probably going to come around. We've already got activity on the J&B side as Max Montero goes to the bullpen on the other diamond to go throw. And boy, the Hill dugout all up with the fence in full throat. 3-0 count to Josh McGovern. Do you turn him loose, Joe?
Yes.
Taking all the way and takes a strike on the outside corner. Joe, who's our blue crew for tonight?
Glenn Brown from Washington on the plate. Eli Salgado from Florida at first base, and Trevor Topping from Ontario, Canada at third.
Had a notion there, but takes the strike on the corner nonetheless. So from 3-0 to 3-2. And McGovern will try to keep the Chiefs on the fun side of the field. But that one is fouled way out of play.
Saludos a Orlando del Caballo Muñoz, saludos a Erika del Caballo. Está viendo el juego conmigo aquí en la tele grande. Qué bueno, gracias por estar ahí, muchachones.
Segura gives Godoy the one that came in from out of play, and I think that's the one he chose. Seventh man in the inning to the plate for Hill United Chiefs. 2 runs in, 2 runners aboard. And another foul off by Josh McGovern. 7 pitches now, Joe, into this at bat. And he has thrown how many this inning already?
38.
38 already. So this is 3 innings worth of work at your 12-pitch average. Ball 4, and Godoy doesn't like the call. There's a word for a home plate umpire, and he is losing his composure, and we're going to get a mound visit here, Joe, and I think it is due to try and calm down Ramon Godoy.
Sabíamos que iba a ser un juego interesante desde el principio. Son 2 buenos equipos, pero los High United Chiefs ha aprovechado este episodio a tratar de meter las mejores carreras en este episodio. Bowling está en la segunda base.
So the 8th man in the order, Jason Hill, to the plate. And a called strike. Bases loaded. Hill threatening to run away with this one early, Joe. We've seen this a lot from the Chiefs in the past. Usually not this deep in the tournament. And a called strike there in the outside corner. Jason Hill, a kick of the dirt.
Very important that JB shut the door here. Got to keep these Chiefs limited here.
Now you do not want to go down 3-4-0 before you've even come to the plate. Swing and a miss, and that is indeed what they do. They shut the door. Godoy, a couple of words for the home plate umpires. He makes his way back to the plate, and then a couple of more as he gets to the door. That's not going to be good public relations, Joe.
No, it won't help your cause later.
Bottom of the first coming up, Chiefs with 2, JB coming to the plate.
The annual Boys of Summer tournament is held every July at the Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time fast pitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill in the grounds can't be beat. Reduced-rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys of Summer tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at deankane16@gmail.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the broadcast program. The annual Boys of Summer tournament is held every July at the Circle Tap Bar and Grill.
Both these guys are in this game, Joe Todd, Alan Pecker, and Yusuf Davis. 2 of the fastest guys in the game. Who is the fastest? Well, we might get the opportunity to find out on Saturday night. If both of them are ready, willing, and able, we're going to put on a little race. And you might see it here on the IC Network and Softball Premier TV. Coolbet might offer some odds on that one. Joe, who do you got?
Alan Pecker.
You're taking Alan Pecker. I won't tell Yusuf on you.
Okay.
Joe leading things off for the JB squad. Ishmael Pena, Lenny Villavazzo in the 2 spot. Nico Carrillo, Rogelio Segura bats 4th. Rafa Flores 5th. Juan Villavazzo 6th. Mariano Montero in the 7th spot. Cesar Rodriguez 8. And your man Yusuf Davis in the 9 spot for J&B. For Hill United Chiefs, left to right, Jason Hill is in left field. Brad Ezekiel in center. Alan Pecker plays right today for the Chiefs. Around the horn in the infield, Shane Boland at 3rd, Nick Shales at short. At 2nd, Tony Gonzalez. And at first base, Steve Mullally. Adam Folkard back out on the mound after a year's absence for the Chiefs. Travel-related restrictions due to COVID. Bruni Motroni behind the plate. And Adam has looked on form so far, Joe Todd. Rumors of an injury to Adam. But so far, so good for the big right-hander from Australia.
Extremely very impressed with what he's done so far this week. They're going to go with Adam as long as he can. Stay there and make sure that he's at the top of his game.
Swing and a miss. Down goes Ishmael Pena. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. 3 pitches, and down goes Pena. Adam has a real good drop ball, as we all know. Throws the rise ball. Will throw a curve occasionally. You'll see the arm come out away from the hip when he throws the curve. Not a lot of change of pace. He'll occasionally take a little bit off, but not really, Joe, what you would call a true changeup. He'll touch 82, 83 on the drop ball, but this one just misses the mascot.
In JB's game against Kingston Axman on Sunday, The JB team only got 3 hits, but Lenny Villalbazo got 2 of them with a double.
Palo en estas clasificaciones. Roleta.
This one is back up the middle, past the diving Shales, and Villalbazo is aboard with a base hit. And Lenny Villalbazo, Joe's got a couple of home runs already here too, and one of them was deep into the trees the other night.
No hay manera.
And you see past the diving Nick Shales and
GMB iniciando
Bradley Ezekiel back to the infield. Without the Chiefs have mostly done pitching by committee this season. Joe, you and I have seen them in several tournaments this year, and it's been a mix of Adam Folkert, Pablo Migliavaca, and Nick Patrick. Adam only saw limited action at the USA Nationals, again, suspected injury. And Zach Pierce, on loan from the Grand Prairie Pirates at that tournament, did the bulk of the pitching for the Chiefs. This one misses off the outside corner.
ex-jugador.
Well, that pitching by committee, maybe all the time, is just planning for this tournament, making sure everyone is ready.
Well, this is it. This is the goal. This is the tournament the Chiefs are put together to win every year. Inside to Nico Carrillo. Now, Nico Carrillo, a longtime member of the Hill United Chiefs, and he is trying to claim that he got that one on the hand.
Ahí está Nico, se acerca. Dice que sí le pegó.
And Adam certainly isn't above brushing somebody back. They're going to move Nico back to the box. Bit of a grin on his face as he chats about it with Glenn Brown as they walk back.
He's supposed to yell, ouch.
Well, he's got a smile on his face, and it doesn't look any worse the wear from
Nico Carrillo.
the practice swings. So Carrillo back into the box.
Me dijo, una de las cosas que más
But he's been with the Chiefs since
Oh my God.
2016, I want to say. Maybe even earlier. This one gets away from Matroni, and scampering up to second goes Lenny Villalbazo.
Y está también en la segunda base.
Yeah, maybe even earlier than that, Joe. Maybe 2014 with the Chiefs. He was the MVP in 17,
17 in Grand Rapids.
but he was there for at least a couple of years. He was the 4th outfielder. And then as Jeff Ellsworth transitioned out, Nico Carrillo was the replacement. And this one downstairs.
Desde ayer, desde antier,
You know, and this is what we've seen, Joe. I mean, as effective as Adam Folkert has been here, at times this season, he looks like the Adam of old for a batter, and then
exprimen hasta el final.
loses form a little bit, and you see pitches in the dirt that
Nico Carrillo.
aren't as crisp as they typically would be, and then he is right back to it again.
Gracias, mi pana. Gracias por estar ahí. Smash ball.
Chases upstairs, the rise ball from Adam Folkert. When teams have had success against Adam, they've been able to lay off that pitch and concentrate on the drop.
Tenemos rato viendo.
But if you're going to chase that pitch, you're going to run into all kinds of trouble.
It looks very tempting, though, when it leaves his hand.
En Australia no están entrenando, no están jugando ligas. Es complicado. Presenta Forca, viene.
Called strike 3, outside corner. Carrillo thought he had worked a walk and was a couple of steps toward first base, but will turn in the opposite direction. You'll see it here.
Segundo out del episodio. Todo el medio, mi hermano. Mi hermano. La gente de Cuba que está conectada. Un abrazo, mi gente cubana.
Rogelio Sequeira,
Acere. Ahora está ahí el
Venezuelan national,
Sequeira, seleccionado venezolano.
and chases that pitch from Folkert.
Lanzamiento afuera rompiente, Rogelio Sequeira versus Alan Forca. venezolano de Barquisimeto. Buen tercera base, gran pelado.
Lenny Vivazzo still out at second base, aboard on that single.
No hay manera.
A couple of strikeouts.
Eduardo Ahumada, bienvenido.
Sandwich that. And Sequeira chases outside.
Más todavía. En esta etapa,
Straight away in the outfield.
ya los lanzadores y los jugadores de play saben que
Gonzalez maybe a step or two towards
es el momento
second.
de hacerlo, porque si no, los otros equipos aprovechan.
And swing and a miss. Adam Folkert strikes out the side, gives up the single to Lenny Vivazzo through one complete. It's the Chiefs 2 and JB no score.
Whatever your delivery requirements are across North America, Skelton Truck Lines provides you with reliable, safe, and high-quality service at a fair price. Skelton Truck Lines equipment is satellite tracked and delivers small parcel, less than truckload, and expedited shipments throughout Canada and the U.S. With over 50 years of experience and more than 50 trucks serving 4 divisions, Skelton Truck Lines is a thriving Ontario business and a proud fastball sponsor. Visit us online at skeltontruck.com. Thanks to Mike Skelton for supporting the broadcast program.
El argentino sigue
Vermont Godoy back out here for the second inning of work. And Joe, you have to hope if you're a JB fan, he has cooled down in the dugout a little bit, at least on the temperament side.
Yes, just maintain your composure there. It's still a long game in front of you. Let your team contribute with the defensive side. You do your job on the mound.
mucha gente en el parque.
Well, skips the first one in to Rafa Flores, and he'll amble over and toss it back to Godoy. No hurry there from Rafa Flores. Tony Gonzalez at the plate for the Hill United Chiefs. Tony quietly, Joe, has had an exceptional season. He is, much like Nick Mullins, not your prototypical 9-batter.
Bateador de potencia.
He is 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs coming out of that 9-hole.
We've seen Tony Gonzalez slug a couple of big home runs for the Chiefs. One of them was in the Hallman tournament as they rallied,
Un poco.
and they won the Hallman tournament. It was the only tournament they won this year, I believe.
Yes.
Ese Román Godoy que vimos hace 2 días.
When you think about the bigger tournaments this year, Bear Creek, the Kennedy's qualifier.
Mañana será la
The
final.
Gremlins would win the next week in
Voy a revisar cuál-
New York.
Simcoe
Oh,
Simcoe.
Yeah.
at the Chiefs Challenge.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss there by Gonzalez, down on strikes, and that's a much better sequence and approach there from Ramon Godoy. Hallman Twins would win the Peligro Cup in New York City. Gremlins took the boys of summer.
Viene a batear Jake Bourne.
Tavistock.
Tavistock was Bear Creek, beat the Gremlins in the final.
Es un cambio.
And then there was the Ashland tournament, which was the Gremlins. And the Hallman tournament, which was Hill United over
Jake Bourne
the
seleccionado
Twins,
para
I think, in the final, was it not? I believe it was. This one is foul down
Yes.
third base side. And then at the ASA tournament, the U.S. National, the Gremlins would beat JB in the final. At the Marchio tournament, Oma Tigre came back and ran the table on the Sunday. Beat Circle Tap Dukes in the final of that one. But Circle Tap would put Oma into the losers bracket here, and then Oma was upset by the glowworm. There we are in the press box here at Milton Field. Jordan, Joe, Blair, and Luciano bringing you the game changer, the sights, the sounds. Final game of the day, the ISC World Tournament. In ISC 2 action, the winners bracket finals is going on right now. We'll update you on the score in that one. And Flores will go out for a talk with Godoy. I think you'll see a fair bit of this, Joe, as he tries to keep Godoy's temper in check. 4-4, top of the 7th. Marchio Sausage batting. Alveston Aces, the home team. So they'll get the last swings in the 7th. But tied at 4 right now. That is the ISC 2 winners bracket final. And the loser side, Joe, is Elmira and... Come on, you're supposed to know these things right off the top.
All right.
Elmira and the Bar Buzz. And then Alvinston and Marchio. Those are your final 4 in ISC 2 this year. Ontario, Minnesota, Ontario, and Wisconsin. Boland called out on strikes. So that's 2 in a row now for Ramon Godoy. He's got to close the door this time, Joe. He was had 2 out, and then the Chiefs did some damage in the first. Oh, there's that good changeup strike on Nick Shales. Marchio Sausage scores 1. They're up 5-4 now in the top of the 7th. Cody Gibbons was pitching in that one earlier, Joe. Good young prospect for Team USA. This that was called a strike. Shales jogging half-heartedly down the line with a bat in the hand and had a look back. Are you sure it was a strike? He said, yes, said Glenn Brown. So Ramon Godoy does indeed strike out the side, and a much better inning for JB. Stay with us. We'll go to the home half of the second inning. ISC Network, Blair Setford, Joe Todd. How do you like your steak, Joe?
Medium well.
Medium well. I'm going to go on the medium rare side. I think we're going to have to pay a visit to Big Pete's Steakhouse in Oswego, Ontario. I want to thank Pete Hill, Ginger Smith, for helping to bring you all the sights and sounds. The Hill family, big supporters of the ISC broadcast program over the years. Certainly thank them for everything that they do. Rafa Flores to the plate, and Rafa a tap on the shin pad for Bruno Matroni. 2 of the best in the world right there, 2 of the best catchers, Bruno and Flores. And Rafa steps out.
Presenta la four card.
Chopper on the infield. That one is going to go foul. And
Mete en el primer try. Rafito Flores con el número 22 en su
Flores the other night, Joe, when we had JB in the broadcast, he had a pitch called on him that he didn't like as a strike, and it just seemed to tick him off because he pounded the next pitch to the fence in center for a double and an RBI to get JB out in front.
Don't wake up the bear.
Viene Pajón. Swing completo.
And a
Segundo
swing here, and he is through the zone so quickly with that swing.
United Chiefs quiere mantenerse campeón. Quiere hacer un back-to-back. Se dio la gran final allá en Indiana. La tuvimos hace un par de semanas
And time again at the plate.
en el Bayer Complex. Nos fuimos al inning 10. Increíble el juego.
Downstairs from Folkard.
Alan Ford, lanzador considerado número 1 del mundo. ¿Dónde está? Un pequeño condrecillo ahí, Bruno Motroni, bajar un poquito la intensidad.
So Motroni with the mound visit.
Juego lento, está volviendo, tenemos apenas 42 minutos y apenas en el segundo episodio. Rafito Flores tiene tiempo. Estos son 2 y 2 el conteo. Un turno espectacular para Rafa Flores. Chris Hills has
The annual boys.
the Dolan and Murphy. Dolan and Murphy, I don't know.
And misses outside. So a real nice patient at bat here by
Rafito Flores
Rafa Flores. Joe was down 0-2 as he chased a couple of pitches and has now worked it back to a full count.
presenta al australiano.
And then chases this one foul. Mullally going to let it roll all the way down to the bag in case it hits a stone and darts back onto the field.
Son juegos sobadores de pelota, ¿viste? Rafito Flores está ahí con un conteo máximo de 3 y 2. El cazador irá presa en este turno. Presenta el australiano versus el venezolano Rafa Flores.
This one is punched out to left. Jason Hill will come across, make the two-handed catch. It's been a while, Joe, like a decade since we've seen Jason Hill in the outfield. He played third base last year and played it very well, but I have not seen Jason Hill play the outfield since the very early days
Yes.
of the Chiefs.
Yes, I was quite surprised when I read that tonight.
Viene a batear ahora Villalbazo, el hermano mayor de Lenny Villalbazo. Juan Villalbazo, que tremenda persona, tremendo bateador también, fue seleccionado
Downstairs there to
mayor de la Fuerza Mayor, como le dicen.
Juan Villavazo.
I'm presuming they're brothers? Or do you know?
Juega actualmente
I do not know.
béisbol profesional,
I think it's
capacidad
a fair assumption,
Yeah.
but I
de jugar.
I do not know.
Esos dos juegos, softball y béisbol al mismo
Just because inquiring minds want to.
Well,
I'll do
you know,
that.
It's a
I'll do some
legitimate
research.
question. Yeah, Joe, it's a legitimate question. I just don't want to make that assumption.
No.
You know, just like not all Smiths are related or
No.
all Todds are related.
Yeah.
bala para Juan Villalbazo. Le dicen Tuga, Tuga. Villalbazo. Capito bola, tercera mala. Saludos a Mario García. No hay manera desde Tijuana conectado, hablando de Tijuana, este pelado.
3 balls.
Juan Villalbazo. Le cantan el
And that
automático.
called a strike on the outside corner.
Todo en medio.
Joe, a much slower inning here for Adam Folkert, falling behind the batters or going deep into the counts.
2 batters in a row here. Flores was 2 to 3-2.
Repite la
And
forma,
you're
todo en medio.
3-2 as well. And if you're going to get that pitch called a strike, you might as well throw it there all night because not a lot of batters are going to be able to do anything with that pitch.
There goes the popcorn lady. Not fair.
Well, for those of you who are looking for a little context on that, they make the popcorn right downstairs below us, and the smell wafts into the press box. And there is ball 4. So Folkert puts another runner on board. Well, not another, but puts a runner on board via the walk.
No, señores, ahora viene a batear el capitán de la selección argentina, Mariano Montero.
So Mariano Montero will come to the plate. He will flash bunt and then pull it back.
Capitán, campeón mundial y panamericano 2 veces, bateador de potencia.
And this one is
Primera mala, saludos a Genaro Godoy.
called a strike to the dismay of the JB team. I looked into their dugout. Rafa Flores had his hands over his eyes.
Estar en sintonía, mi bro. Abrazo desde acá digital, desde Illinois Molina. Ahí está. Mariano Montero, con su particular modo de batear, que se presenta para tocar la bola.
So now 1-1.
Y viene el conteo, Mariano Montero con Villalbazo.
That will bring out Bruno Matroni, and you can add another mark there in your mound visit column.
Los detalles. Aquí cada uno está jugando para su equipo. Son paisanos, son compañeros de equipo. Pero aquí cada uno está por su equipo. Independientemente,
Boland and Matroni had
son jugadores profesionales.
the gloves up and some strategy
Difícil.
between them all the way back to the plate.
Se saben las mañas. Es difícil para un bateador como Mariano Montero. Tener un catcher como Bruno.
And a called strike on the outside corner. Montero is the incoming captain of Team Argentina. Bruno Matroni, the outgoing captain. The World Cup in November in Auckland will be Matroni's swan song for the Argentina Blue.
Iván Ospina desde Medellín. Un abrazo, gracias por estar ahí. Mi pana.
And a chopper on the infield. Boland will have to hurry. Montero runs well. Mullally digs that out for the second out of the inning. Good play on both ends.
Lado por la vía 53. Vamos a ver la repetición de este.
This not hit particularly hard down the third base line.
Un mal tiro. Bastante
And a good backhand scoop there by Steve Mullally.
Está ahí, sigue Alan Forca con
Joe, the Chiefs team doesn't get enough credit for how good they are defensively.
Yes, they work on their defense. I see
bateador Rodríguez
I hear Jeff Ellsworth is a real stringent part of their program.
También de Tijuana.
Spent a lot of time on it.
No mames. Los out, corredor en segunda. Se mete el Peña.
So the runner on second for Cesar Rodriguez.
Fuera el lanzamiento, gol.
And a called strike.
Le cantan entrar. Fuera, lo vi yo. Peña, bateador zurdo que salió como right fielder el día de hoy. A mí me sorprendió allá en Illinois cuando salió a lanzar. En una curva afuera bastante buena. Rodríguez Peña. Está llegando
Misses downstairs, and
la ambulancia.
we get a shot of the ambulance out there down the right field line that has just pulled into the park. And now there's more action out there as some fire trucks are arriving. And those are going to be visual distractions if you are potentially a left-handed batter. They're down the right field line. And this one is up and in, and I think that actually went off the bat, did it not?
Yes, it
yeah,
did.
It's a foul ball.
Para que puedan ver que están llegando los bomberos.
And now we've got fire, police, and paramedics. So I hope everybody is okay. And there you can see all the flashing lights. I hope that there's not somebody's gotten into some trouble out there, Joe. We don't want to hear any potential bad news. Swing and a miss there. Down goes Cesar Rodriguez. JB strands one here, the bottom of the second inning. We'll go to the top of the third. The Chiefs still out in front, 2-0.
Murphy's Fish and Chips is not only a great place to get some of the best seafood in Canada, but is also one of the best fastball sponsors in the game. Voted Nova Scotia's best fish and chips by Eastlink TV, Murphy's is a family institution since 1996 and a proud fastball sponsor of many Canadian and ISC championship teams. Open 7 days a week. Come join us for our famous English-style fish and chips or any of our daily specials. Murphy's is located at 88 Esplanade in Truro, Nova Scotia. We thank Dave T. Anderson and Murphy's Fish and Chips for their commitment to fastball and the broadcast program. Murphy's Fish and Chips is not only a great place to get some of the best seafood in Canada, but is also one of the best fastball sponsors in the game. Voted Nova Scotia's best fish and chips by Eastlink TV, Murphy's is a family institution since 1996 and a proud fastball sponsor of many Canadian and ISC championship teams. Open 7 days a week. Come join us for our famous English-style fish and chips or any of our daily specials. Murphy's is located at 88 Esplanade in Truro, Nova Scotia. We thank Dave T. Anderson and Murphy's Fish and Chips for their commitment to fastball and the broadcast program.
Tienes razón, mi pana Marcos Teodorovic. Todita la razón tiene, mi pana.
Well, we've got a lot of action on the field and off as the paramedics have driven the ambulance right down the laneway and made their way to over directly in front of the door to the press box here. Now we're going to call the players off the field, and this is clearly an item of concern. We're not going to make any speculations whatsoever, but obviously somebody has run into some difficulty here. So
911. Mandaron a stop al juego.
but Joe, for various reasons, including the distraction of the lights and other reasons, we've got the game on pause.
Yeah. A lot bigger things in life.
You'll have to talk into the microphone there, my friend.
A lot bigger things in life than a ball game.
Well, Joe, we don't know the seriousness of the situation. We're not going to speculate on it. We will spend a bit of time talking to you, the viewing audience, about what's going on with the ISC World Tournament. Today is the second day of the winners bracket semifinals, yesterday it was the Twins and the Bear Creek Express. Both of those teams won their respective games 3-1. Hallman Twins 3-1 over the Circle Tap Dukes, and Bear Creek Express 3-1 over the Grand Prairie Pirates. The Twins and the Express will play tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central. We will bring you that game.
199.
On the bottom side, you've got the New York Gremlins, who have moved on to the winter bracket semi. 6-3 winners over the AWP Lumberjacks. We brought you that game earlier this evening. And now the final of the four is the JB and Hill United Chiefs. Hill United out to an early 2-0 lead, and the game is on pause while we have this medical situation attended to. They must have taken the ambulance around the backside of the press box. In the losers bracket, Joe, earlier this morning, Glowworm 5-4 winners over the Ostrander Norsemen. And that's one of the Cinderella teams at the top of the losers bracket. They will play the Circle Tap Dukes tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Toronto Batmen were 3-1 winners over the Oswegan Redmen. That was an 11 a.m. game and went for quite a while.
¿Qué va a pasar, Memo? Hay que llamar a Memo para ver qué pasó. Qué boludo.
The Niagara Stompers, Joe, were 2-1 winners in a real good game over the Midland Explorers this afternoon. You and I spent a fair bit of time watching that one. Just a really well-pitched game on both sides from Kyle Linton, and then for Midland it was John Guizdala and then Riley Mannion in relief. And just some real stellar pitching there by a collection of pitchers. Kyle Linton and John Guizdala, well into their careers. Riley Mannion just getting going.
And that was in the heat of the day, too.
Yes, all of them were pretty exhausted by the time they got off the field. And then the bottom side of the losers bracket, Joe, has the other Cinderella team, the AHI Reapers. 2-1 winners over Nate's Auto. Both of those teams, AHI finished third in ISC 2 last year, and Nate's were second in ISC 2. But both of them made some additions to their roster, and both of them advancing to Wednesday here in the ISC World Tournament. It'll be the Reapers who will play tomorrow against the Grand Prairie Pirates. Luis Amaya pitching for the Reapers, and whenever he's on the board, Joe, he can keep most teams in the game.
He's really shown himself well. Last year he was kind of new to the ISC program, but this year he's no stranger, but he's put on a great performance for AHI this year.
Well, if you remember, Luis Amaya was the newcomer of the year in 2019 in Circle Tap with the Toronto Batmen. He pitched in 2021 with the Bear Creek Express and has moved over to the AHI Reapers as the Express expanded their program. So setting up the Thursday matchups, the Twins and the Bear Creek Express, as we said, 1 versus 4 in the rankings there. The Gremlins have moved into that Thursday nightcap game, and they'll play the winner of this game, and that will scheduled to be around 8 p.m. tomorrow. But those losers bracket games at 9, 11, 1, and 3, the 3 o'clock game will be on the alternate diamond, and that is the Pirates AHI game. We'll have some streaming of those games for you on single camera video only, but we will be doing the ISC 2 championship game at 3, and then we will bring you those 2 winter bracket games at 5 and 8 p.m. tomorrow. Teams are back on the diamond. we wish well for whomever has had this this little health scare here, and hopefully everything is okay.
Aquí estamos de aniversario. A toda la gente que se está conectando con nosotros, gracias por vivir los Premier, por acompañarnos día a día, disfrutar una señal en cualquier parte del mundo donde se encuentren. Le mandamos saludos a todos, amigo Blair. Mandamos saludos a todos. Amigo Blake que está aquí a mi lado.
Luciano, my good friend here, Joe Todd on my right side. Back to the action here. The ISC World Tournament, Roman Godoy to Bradley Ezekiel.
Ezequiel está ahí, después de ese pequeño break.
Called strike.
Después de ese pequeño
The
break,
three batter for the Hill United Chiefs.
Así es mi amigo Choco, hay que facturar, porque si no, no podemos hacer la cena en la noche.
And Ezekiel will foul this one off.
Ezequiel, que ya tiene una bola y un strike. Ya se están yendo ya las ambulancias. Hey, Bonnie! Julius, thank you for watching, my friend. Ahí está una roleta por la segunda. Villa el vaso, a Villa el vaso.
Villavazo to Villavazo. Lenny to Juan. And Bradley Ezekiel on the ground out.
The brothers, Villa el vaso, Villa el vaso.
Brothers. Well, there's the answer to your question.
Yep.
Liderando el equipo. Tijuana presente, los Peñas presente en ese equipo de GMB. No manches. La gente de la comida china de Tijuana. Mira, meter ahora el campeón mundial, Bruno Motroni. El caballete Bruno Motroni, que también les comento que es representante de los
And inside to Bruno Matroni, who looks out at Roman Godoy. Bruno Matroni, of course, catches for Roman Godoy on the national team. You never want to hit your catcher, Joe.
No.
es representante de los atletas.
Bruno should know everything he pitches too.
You would think that he knows just about all of the secrets.
Which way that ball's breaking and possible sequencing.
Foul straight back to the screen. And that's where your catcher, Joe, has to make a difference. And Flores, among the best of the game, and you know, he'll know what Bruno knows. And it's up to Rafa to put down something that goes against the grain.
Got to make adjustments.
Swing and a miss. Down goes Bruno Matroni for the second out of the inning. And Joe the second, and so far here in the third, much better for Roman Godoy. 8 batters to the plate, over 40 pitches in the first, but a little bit more economical here, the second and the third.
A lot sharper, a lot quicker pace right now.
Called strike on the outside corner.
El peligroso Alan Pecker. Aquí tomó una bola y un strike.
That one misses downstairs. Alan Pecker at the plate. Moved up into the 5 spot in the order, which is an interesting spot for him, Joe, because, I mean, he can hit the ball into the gaps. You would normally want somebody a little bit quicker than Bruno ahead of him on the bases. That would just seem to slow Pecker down a little bit. But there's nobody really that you can put on the base that Pecker isn't going to be faster than.
Yes, exactly.
Allí en Venezuela. Luego nos venimos para acá, para ver Estados Unidos, a transmitir los juegos de IS del USA Softball, el ASA, que tuvimos allá en Indiana, South Bend. Ahora nos venimos para acá. Venimos para acá, para Illinois, y luego la próxima semana estaremos en Monterrey. Estaremos transmitiendo para una
Time called at the plate.
producción exclusiva para ese equipo en la Copa Mundial. Contento de esa noticia de regresar nuevamente a México. Me encanta ir para allá.
And this one well hit, deep right field, down the line, but just foul. You had a good look at it down the line, probably a better look than we had it from our vantage point here. We are
Thank you for watching.
partially obscured down the line.
Pecker, Alan Pecker, con número 59 en su camisa. Película de terror en las bases, este pelado.
Chopper on the infield. Godoy's going to have to hurry. Underhand toss was brave, but they get him by half a step. And a 1-2-3 inning for Ramon Godoy and the JB squad from California. Much better inning again for Ramon Godoy indeed. So, Joe Todd, our best wishes for whomever is in this incident here. We hope that it is nothing too serious, and it is a reminder that we all are involved in a game here, but it is a game that will go on for the rest of the evening. Okay, back to the game action and Yusuf Davis at the plate, the 9-batter for the JB squad.
La competencia va a ser fácil. Una serie de 3 para ganar 2. Lo que corra más rápido las bases. Va a ser algo bien rápido, pero lo vamos a transmitir en vivo para definir quién va a ser el campeón, el más rápido entre los dos.
That pitch misses off the outside corner.
Yusef Davis o Alan Pecker. Ustedes lo tienen que decir, lo van a decir ustedes. Yo no.
Joe Marchio Sausage will go to the IC2 championship game. 7-4 winners over Alvinston Aces in the ISC2 winners bracket final. So there'll be a Minnesota representative. Will it be Ontario or will it be Wisconsin? We will find out tomorrow who will play Marchio. We will see Marchio on the broadcast here tomorrow afternoon. So congratulations to Dave Marchio, sponsor and player on the Marchio Sausage team. Good guy. We ran into Dave a little bit earlier today when we were walking in, actually.
Yep.
Came over to say hello and tell us how things were going. He said they're short-handed a little bit, but they are, they're game and they're playing well. Here's a chopper on the infield. Davis on the move. Shot put it over by Tony Gonzalez. And they make the out at first base. I mean, Gonzalez, he can't really turn and throw that, so he's really just got to push
A
that.
shot put in.
Yeah, he's really just got to push that over to Mullally. Now Jeff Ellsworth out to talk to Adam Falker. Did he slip on the pitch, Joe? I didn't see
I didn't
that.
see- I was watching the ball.
Yeah, so was
the
I.
play.
Yeah, but Ellsworth was out here really quick to talk to Falkard, who is taking a walk. And so that's once through the order for everybody. There's no reason to even think about taking Adam out of the game, but at the same time, the Chiefs And you saw this a little bit earlier when we were looking at the lights out in the parking lot. The Chiefs do have some action going on in the bullpen, and I thought it was Nick Patrick who was throwing, Joe. I didn't think it was Pablo, but I only saw it just briefly. Maybe we can get a shot of that in a moment. Pena tries to put down a bunt, and Matrone dives and barehands it and makes the catch. But I think he hurt himself in the process, Joe, as he's not getting up very quickly at all. And the trainer pops out of the dugout really quickly, and you see this here on the replay. It's a great play, but it's an awkward play for Bruno. And he put some strain there on the right shoulder when he came down.
And the hip.
So great play there.
Bruno Motroni saca el primer out, perdón, el segundo out del episodio. Viene a matear.
This pitch misses inside to Lenny Villavazo. We're told the ambulance has left the facility on its way to the hospital with the patient. We don't have any more or additional information that we can share. The fire trucks and police have left the scene. But as I said previously, our best wishes to whomever and whatever the case may be. Villavazo skies this one. Ezekiel will go back and cannot make the catch this time this year. Lenny Villavazo with a solo home run.
Another home run. Gigantic Villavazo home run. Here in the third inning, getting JB back on the scoreboard.
Bradley Ezekiel, as he always does with the temporary fencing, attempts to run through it to make another circus catch. You'll see it here on the replay. Center cut, bang! And you'll see Ezekiel try to go through and over the fence, but can't catch up with that one. He got a lot of them last year, Joe Todd, but not this year. And is that it? That is it for Adam Folkert. So, Joe, I'm a little shocked at that one, to be honest. One hit, and he's out of the game. He did not look to me to be laboring at all, but, maybe that one couple of pitches did something. But certainly Jeff Ellsworth didn't like what he saw, and he has made the quick change.
Yeah,
See it here. Watch Folkert. No, that jump is not anywhere near as far as Adam normally pushes to.
All right.
And that right there, to me, is indication that maybe there's a groin problem or a hip problem where he can't push off as far as you would expect him to. But just that pitch, and that's the only one I've seen it on, just that pitch, he did not get the stride and the push from the board that you would normally expect. So
the trainer was out earlier this inning, though, too, was he not?
Well, they had the quick visit out there. At one point, Ellsworth came running out. The trainer was out to see Matrone after that diving catch. But Pablo Migliavaca will come on in relief. We will take a break as Pablo takes his warm-up pitches. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Coolbet. Comfortably thrilling.
Joe, this has been the case for the Hill United Chiefs. Whoever starts gets through the order hopefully a couple of times, and here they get all the way through the 12 batters, I guess, into the order. But Migliavaca will be on in relief. Kyle Smith tells us he thought he saw a limp from Adam when Jeff Ellsworth came out the first time. We missed that.
2-1 la partida. Un partido de infarto total, no apto para cardíacos. Peque Carril viene a batir ahora. Se enfrenta a su paisano Pablo Migliavaca.
Pablo, the Argentine national selection, pitching to a teammate here. And this pitch misses down. Pablo, no stranger to these big situations, Joe. We saw it all last year. He became the starter and would try to get through the order once, twice if he could. And then they would go to Pat Burns and then Devin McCullough. It's a different cast this year. Nick Patrick now will be the guy in relief.
Migliavaca's done a great job coming off the bench this year.
He has, and even when he has started, as long as he can stay away from Wayne Laulu, he's actually done a great job.
Yeah.
He just has problems with Wayne.
Just walk him. Don't let one guy beat you.
No. But we chuckle a little bit. We've seen Pablo throw his mix of curveballs and changeups. You talk about guys with a world-class changeup, Joe. Pablo Migliavaca amongst the best, and he is in absolute great hands with Bruno Matroni as well. I think the comfort level with Bruno, and you want to mark down that mound visit, Glenn Brown is out there pretty quickly to... Oh, no, he's going to trail Bruno even further as Bruno tries to get closer to the circle. He's in good hands back there with Bruno, for sure. Pablo keeps the ball down, throws the drop a lot, throws the changeup down in the zone. Will throw a sweeping curveball. And there was the curveball right there. Joe, I see a familiar name in the chat, and it's somebody who is going to have a new prefix to his name. It's going to be ISC Hall of Famer Brad Rona. B-Man, how are you?
Congratulations, Brad.
Congratulations indeed from all of us up here in the booth and the former Toronto Gators coaching staff. We say that in all sincerity. You deserve this and look forward to seeing you next year. Chopper in the infield, but that is dead ball foul off a foot or an ankle. So full count to Nico Carril, 2 down in the inning. Now 2-1 on that big home run by Lenny Villavazo. Swing and a miss. Pablo Migliavaca. A little hop, skip, and a jump coming off the mound, Joe, as he completes the inning and gets the Chiefs out of it and to the bat now in the bottom of the, or top of the fourth. That's coming up. Stay with us.
This business was opened in 1965 by my father, Ned Matiosi. Could have walked in here 25, 30 years ago and seen just about the same thing. The process of making this suit takes about 6 weeks. It goes through about 12 or 13 hands as it's moved along the line. It's an old-time place. Making stuff from scratch here in the city at a reasonable cost. It's a very personal type of business.
Joe, I talked with Var Mattiosian as he was coming off the field after the Gremlins game, and he was in a great mood, as you might expect, with a 6-3 win, advancing them to that winner's bracket semi tomorrow. And Varm still looking for an opportunity to get up to the broadcast booth as well, but with the Gremlins and their schedule, it makes it tough for Varm. I said, we needed you up here earlier in the week when we were doing 4 days. Where were you? But with that forfeit that the Gremlins had, they really weren't here at the park until Monday.
Yes, it was Monday that they
didn't need to be here because they were scheduled to play Saturday. And for those that don't know the story, they were scheduled to play Saturday. The Gallup, New Mexico team that qualified in Pueblo played in a tournament last week in Mexico, and a bunch of the guys contracted COVID. Couldn't get back over the border to come play here this week as Molali skies this one, and calling for it is the right fielder Cesar Rodriguez. Lenny Villavazzo from second ran 1.5 miles to be out there, and then just did a right turn and kept running to get out of Rodriguez's way.
Great
you can see it here. Look at Villavazzo. He hears Rodriguez and breaks away, and to your point, absolutely great communication.
Yeah. That infielder is going till he hears the outfielder.
So just to finish the story on the COVID situation, the Gallup team comes down with COVID. This was, they informed us with the ISC on Thursday. It's far too late to try and redo the schedule. So there were some forfeits in the schedule that rippled through both the ISC World Tournament as well as into the ISC 2 bracket. 1 ball, 2 strikes here on Josh McGovern. But the upshot of it was the Gremlins didn't play their first game until Monday. Everybody else was into the tournament and playing and got their rhythm down, and the Gremlins, now, they certainly didn't take them long to get into it, playing the Sweekin Redmond, but not an ideal situation.
No, you want to come prepared to play, get on the field, get the cancellation notice of the game, and all of a sudden you're keyed down a bit, so Coach Greg Leather probably scheduled a couple of practices, but practices aren't the same as a game.
No, that's right. They had a team dinner. They had a couple of practices. You're getting your swings. You're getting your reps. But, we had Travis Wilson up here, and he said, your nerves are there in the first game, and you would like to get those out early. But now here it is on Monday, and you're already on day 3 of the tournament. So that doesn't seem to have affected the Gremlins. They're 2-0, 3-0 if you count the forfeit, and you do. Jason Hill to the plate after Josh McGovern strikes out. This one inside. And as I said, Joe, that rippled through both of the brackets, and it finally played out. Finally played out this morning with the final forfeit in the ISC 2 losers bracket. So from Saturday through to Wednesday, that was still a factor here for various teams. Hill and Glenn Brown having conversation. Hilly's a little mystified. No way. Yes. No way. No way. Jeff Ellsworth is going to come down and have a conversation He's not the only one who's mystified. I don't know what's going on either. I have no idea. Are we talking about the count or a strike call, or what are we on?
I think the ball came fairly close to Jason's chin.
It did?
I think, but I'm not sure.
Well, even if it did, it shouldn't provoke all this.
No. I think Jeff was just going down to get Jason out of the picture. Transfer the...
Well, yeah, it transfers the conversation from the player to the coach. You always want to protect your players, so good job there by Jeff Ellsworth. But swing and a miss, chases the rise ball upstairs. I think it was whether or not a pitch was called a ball or not.
Okay.
I'm just guessing. I didn't perceive it to be anywhere close to hitting Jason, to be honest. I just thought it was inside. This one misses downstairs. Godoy thought maybe he had him rung up. Anyway, we'll have to ask somebody about that one later on tonight. Maybe Jeff will provide us with an answer. Or not. There's a changeup. That one's called strike 3. I think Jason Hill knew that one right away. He was turning and spinning to go back to the bench pretty quickly. Ramon Godoy, another good inning. Picks up another couple of strikeouts. And the JB team back to the plate after their team meeting.
Do you need a reliable supply of products to run your business? Are you tired of having to deal with multiple suppliers to get everything you need? Absolute Business Supply is your dedicated, full-service business supply partner offering over 400,000 products and unmatched customer service. At ABS, we aren't just selling products. We offer a commitment to building meaningful relationships with our customers, getting to know your business goals so we can provide the best possible solutions for your needs. Find us on the web at absolutebusinesssupply.ca and let us get it for you. Do you need
Well, Pablo Migliavaca is going to try and get it done for the Hill United Chiefs. Shane Boland in having a word in the ear with Bruno Matroni prior to that last warm-up pitch. And Joe, has the balance of this game swung a little bit towards JB right now, do you think?
Well, by picking up that home run last inning, it obviously decreases the lead that Hill United put on the board, but right now J&B have to stay with it. They've got to mount some offense. Bats have been fairly quiet. There's only been 2 hits in the game, and Lenny Villavazzo have both of them.
Migliavaca is going to ask for a new set of signs. And that pitch off the outside corner. Segura pointing to it just to make sure everybody saw that it was off the outside corner.
We have 2 umpires.
This is chopped foul. We're outdoors watching the Gremlins game. Or not the Gremlins, sorry, the Stompers game earlier today, Joe. And Greg Garrity was calling balls on just about every pitch. Nope. He was right. They weren't strikes.
Pablo Migliavaca.
Swing and a miss there by Sequeira. So this is a completely different look too, Joe, and don't discount that from Adam Folker to Pablo Migliavaca. It's a different pace in terms of the speed of the pitch, but Pablo changes speeds much more than Adam does. And swing and a miss there. Down goes Rogelio Sequeira. And his ball may move a little bit more than Adams laterally, at least anyway, with the curveball. and the drop when he changes speeds will fall off the table. I don't think he's got quite the explosive movement as Adams does in terms of the late break. But a completely different look, and you've got to make that adjustment now as a batter. That is through the 5.5 hole past the diving Nick Shales, who to no avail has had to dive to his right and to his left tonight, Joe, and just hasn't been able to get to either of them. It's just been out of his reach both times. First pitch here chopped by Flores, and you see that slowly make its way out onto the grass towards Jason Hill.
Well, when Flores hits the ball, he hits it hard, though, too. He's got a great bat speed.
Oh, yeah. So Juan Villavazzo now to the plate. And we do know that they are brothers. I think we solved that particular mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you to Luciano on that one. Our good friend Luciano Lafrano at the controls, doing all the production as well as the Spanish language commentary. I don't know how he does it, Joe, because he's got so much going on. He's running the scoreboard, he's changing the shots, he's doing commentary, he's directing, asking for shots. It is Luciano's wife, Catrona, who is on our action camera out on the podium on the first base side. Whenever you see a camera shot tracking the ball, tracking a runner, that is Catrona Lafrano, who is doing an amazing job out on the camera.
On her anniversary.
Yeah, we want to wish both of them. The flip to 2 for 1. Back to first. Call it 2. 4-6 equals 2. As that one was about as easy as they come, Joe Todd. Tony Gonzalez, the flip to Shales, and back to first. And they get Juan Villavazzo by about 3 steps. Watch this. Backhand toss and easy out at first base.
Nice and smooth.
I don't know about you, Joe, but every time I see that Peligro Sports ad, I feel like I want to get in my car and go to the stadium tour and see a rock concert.
Sure.
Wow. I think you got slashed to do that commercial, didn't you? He's not giving away his sources there. Tony Gonzalez to the plate for the Hill United Chiefs. Tony on the Mexican national team. And there are Mexican national players on both of these squads. And Joe, I think there are, I thought I saw on Chopper's totals, and maybe I should just go look them up before it says, I thought I saw at least 10. This one is punched out to right, going back, deep, and gone. Tony Gonzalez with a home run to the opposite field.
Well, that is power if you can make that ball go the opposite way. Ball got a little high up in the letters here.
And we'll see this on the replay as Tony Gonzalez high-fives his way down the line to the Chiefs dugout. Here's the replay. Yeah, it's up and boom indeed to right field, to the fence, and runs out of real estate. Tony Gonzalez with a home run. Catrona doing a great job tracking that all the way out of the park. And Joe, we talked about unconventional 9 batters. There is another one, not a guy that would be hitting 9 on most teams here at the ISC World Tournament, but the top teams have got that across the board, where Nick Mullins bats 9, and this one is chopped through the 5.5 hole by Shane Boland. He thinks about rounding first, but then thinks again and retreats back to the bag. Will take the leg guard off. Nick Mullins in the 9 spot for the Gremlins. Brandon Horn in the 9 spot for Bear Creek Express. Tony Gonzalez here. And, you know, you've got national team players up and down your lineup. That is what you get.
Yeah, the depth of the roster is very significant.
And that takes a little wind out of the JB sails too, Joe. They had been having good innings, and that's the first hit in, what, a trip through the batting order, I believe.
Yep.
So the home run and then the single by Shane Boland will bring Nick Shales up to the plate. Shales belted a single back in the first, and that helped set up that 2-run first inning. Called strike on that outside corner. That pitch has been there for both teams all night long, Joe.
Yeah, good consistent job back there by Glenn Brown.
Bateador de potencia, canadiense, gran amigo también.
Shales chases upstairs. Joe, when you look in the back of that crowd shot, just to the right of the woman in the pink shirt, Terry Bader and Todd Idenaway. You can see them in the second from the top row. Toronto Gators co-coaches back in 2016, or fellow coaches, let me put it that way, from 2016. I may have told this story, and apologies if I have, but talking to Terry the other day, and we looked out at the scoreboard, it was 0-0, and he said, this is poke foul. He said, Blair, for me, that scoreboard will forever say 6-3. The ball comes back in from foul territory. Get it rubbed up by Rogelio Sequeira.
Top part of the order here for Hill United Chiefs. Godoy has to be really careful not to separate this.
Shales chases upstairs, and boy, you don't see Nick Shales chase that far upstairs very often, Joe. That's some good movement on the pitch from Godoy, and Shales a bit of a grimace as he heads back to the bench.
Great rise ball.
Bradley Ezekiel. Ground ball to second for one, back to first. Double play. If you can do it, I can do it, says Lenny Villavazzo as he makes the backhand flip, and the JB squad collect 2. And we'll go to the home half of the 5th. The Chiefs 3, JB 1.
Does your game need work? Want to get better every game? Every at-bat? You need Lumberjack Sports, focusing on exceptional quality and providing players with reliable, long-lasting product. Lumberjack Sports brings you in-game equipment and off-field workout gear, designed and tested by top fastball player Nick Shales. Hard work, strength, and all-around commitment to getting the job done, and done right, is the motto for Lumberjack Sports. Learn from the best. play like the best. Check out lumberjacksports.ca.
Mariana Montero at the plate. And Joe, you really wouldn't teach that stroke to anybody, would you?
No.
Bradley Ezekiel has another unique stroke, and he's just about the best player in the world, and you wouldn't teach anybody to swing necessarily like that, but you can never argue with results.
Sometimes you have to adapt. As long as you've got the success to go with it. I will only change people's batting stances when they fall into a rut.
You saw Pablo shake off Bruno Matroni, which he doesn't do that often, and wanted to go with the drop down, and he got the pitch that he wanted, and Montero chases out of the zone for the strikeout. So good job there by Pablo Migliavaca to go with the pitch he wanted to throw.
Migliavaca's faced 5 batters since coming in, 3 strikeouts.
And he's a hard guy to square up, Joe, because he doesn't bring the ball up in the zone that often. I guess if there is the criticism of Pablo is that if he does hang the ball, and that's what happened there, he hung one up, and Cesar Rodriguez drills this one deep right field and gone. And, oh, Pablo, sorry, I jinxed you. Because I just finished saying when you bring the ball up, it gets hit hard, and you hung one, and it's a 3-2 ball game.
The broadcaster curse.
Oh, my goodness. We are hanging people out to dry all over the place tonight. You just annihilated Cole Evans earlier today. You killed Jeff Lyons last night.
Yeah.
I've just taken Pablo Migliavaca right out. Big home run there. And this game is back to a 1-run game.
Well, we knew she was going to be a tight one going in.
You called it. We thought that this was probably going to be the better of the 2 games. And I'm not saying that the Gremlins game wasn't a good game. That was a good game, too. AWP put up a very valiant effort. This one here is a nail-biter.
Well, this one's got you on the edge of your seat here right now.
Davis has a good hack and chops this one foul. I don't know what they feed the JB guys, Joe, but when they hit home runs, they hit big ones. Nothing small or cheap about those 2 home runs from Lenny Viavazo and from Cesar Rodriguez. The Tony Gonzalez one was a shot, too, for Hill.
Joseph Davis.
Pablo wanted a different set of signs. He's working that Gorilla Gold rag pretty good, but he also gave the universal rotation that I want a new sign. This one downstairs to Davis. Shane Boland, who usually is a couple of steps in front of the bag, is 7-8 and now backs up closer to his normal spot and then creeps in some as well.
Joseph Davis.
And this one inside on Davis.
Dos malas y un strike. Partida está 3-2.
Yusuf originally from LA. I think he's located in Las Vegas now. I think so, right?
Yes, I'm pretty sure you're correct.
Porque si no, la cosa tuviese 2-2. Mi amigo Manolo
The town that
Vargas
never sleeps.
está conectado, mi pana. Bienvenido a la transmisión.
Swing and a miss there by Yusuf. Ran into Yusuf, I want to say Sunday afternoon. It was probably before opening ceremonies, and we had a great chat. Just, what's going on this season. He had just come over from the AA World Series where he was the MVP playing for Souter Trucking. Helped them win a championship and hopped on a plane here. He was saying that, just the way airlines are these days, he was flying in the middle of the night because the flight was delayed, got here at 5 in the morning, got about 3 hours sleep, and had to be somewhere. So just a crazy schedule. Had a notion to chase downstairs, but didn't.
Joseph Davis. Sigue ahí bien parado. Selección de Estados Unidos. El más rápido de todos. Una roletita.
Hard shot, but Shales, who was in, because you don't know when Yusuf is going to try to slap, fields that right at him. Doesn't have to dive for one finally. Hits to make the out.
Well, a little advanced scouting there, potentially, with Shales playing that shallow.
Well, they're trying to protect against the slap, right?
Yeah.
And he's in front of the baseline. Gonzalez is actually back a little bit. He wasn't all the way in like you do see with some slap defenses. But certainly right man, right spot, right time there for Shales. And good contact by Davis, but just right at Nick Shales. So back to the top of the shop, Ishmael Pena. Big cut there.
Pablo Migliavaca está ahí. Con 3 ponches apenitas. Batazo.
Hard hit ball past Shales out to left. And Pena aboard with a single. Boy, Nick's not really had any easy chances. Even that hit by Davis was right at him, but it was hard hit. This one is on a line.
Imparable entre dos. Peña Osuna se mete en primera base y hay un pequeño congresillo ahí en el pitch play.
Nick certainly had a great workout tonight.
So meeting on the mound, another one for your mound visits there. And Lenny Villavazzo and Joe, here's an opportunity for JB take the lead with one swing of the bat here. You got to be pretty careful pitching to Lenny Villavazzo right here, right now. You do not want to hang anything.
2 hits in the game, single back in the first, home run in the third.
béisbol. Buena gente. Gracias por estar ahí. Quito bola.
A pitch misses out and away.
Hay dos outs. El peligroso Lenin Villalbazo está ahí. El más peligroso de todos. Que no tiene tamaño. Para lo que batea el pelado.
And this one misses downstairs. A good hitter's count now for Lenny Villalbazo. And, Joe, you do not want to bring anything into the zone to this guy right now. He is as hot as anybody in the tournament. Came in after leading the U.S. National Tournament in home runs last week. And 3-0. You got to think if anything's close, he's having a rip at it.
Well, this might be the intentional walk.
It could very well be. You've got Nico Carrillo on deck. He handled Nico pretty well when he came in. That was the first batter he faced and collected a strikeout, but Nico can hit the ball out of the yard too, and that seems to be the way JB scores most of their runs. And yeah, I think you're absolutely right. That is the 4-pitch intentional walk. You don't have to intentionally walk him, but don't give him anything he can hit.
Yeah.
You know, I can't remember how many times I said that as a player coach over the years. Pitchers always loved that one too. So do you want me to pitch to him or not? No. So 2 runners aboard for Carrillo. You've got a real great arm out and right. And this one is out to center field. They're going to give him on the wave. Here's the throw from Ezekiel to plate. The plate, he scores, standing up, and we got a tie ball game.
Great job by Nico Carrillo. If that wasn't an intentional walk, that's the way to answer to that.
There you see there the throw. It was right on line. Bradley Ezekiel still throws extremely well. It was on line, but just too much speed coming around. Ishmael Pena, and your leadoff batter typically has got some wheels, Joe, and that is going to put us into a tie game. And we got an equipment delivery, it looks like, from the first base coach who brought over a whole bunch of stuff for Bob Berger and Kenny Schwartz to take back to the dugout. Here, fellas, I've been carrying this for 10 minutes over here at first base. Why don't you take some of this stuff back to the dugout? So still runners in scoring position, and Rogelio Sequeira, a very dangerous hitter at the plate, has a look at that changeup called a strike from Pablo Migliavaca. That's a good pitch. That's a great opener.
Great location. First 4 innings, JB only had 3 hits. This inning, bottom of the 5th, they've got 3 hits.
Doubled their production and tied the game. And still threatening here with 2 out. Swinging a foul at the plate. Flores pounced on that one a little quicker than he's pounced on a couple of the other foul balls tonight. He's on deck in his catcher's gear. The pads, at least, anyway. The 1-2 on Rogelio.
El caballete está ahí en situación complicada también.
Misses downstairs, so 2-2, Villavazo. Nick Patrick has been warming up, to no surprise. Joe, you said this earlier in the year when you were down in Kitchener, I think, or maybe it was Tavistock. The Chiefs pitchers tend to throw a game and a half on the sidelines in the bullpen sometimes.
Always good to be ready. Never know when you're going to be called upon.
And this one misses downstairs. So from a 1-2 count to 3-2. A good eye here by Rogelio Sequeira. Advantage to JB because you get Lenny Villavazo and Nico Carrillo in motion. And Carrillo runs well for a big man too. So if something's in a gap, he can score all the way from first. This was downstairs, and we're going to load the bases for Rafa Flores. Do you think he loves the attention? You think he likes the spotlight?
He was made for this type of scenario. Two walks this inning. Runners on third and first both got on by way of a walk.
Well, there you see Lenny Villavazo, who's over at third base, and Shane Boland just came over and gave him a fist bump. But Lenny looks like he just walked out of the grade 9 class, too. Sequeira at first. Nico Carrillo up at second. Lenny Villavazo at third. At the plate, Rafa Flores. First pitch, chopped at it and called a strike or a swing. Either way, it was a strike.
Hit the ball hard last time to Nick Shale's area.
He did. That was through the 5.5 hole to Nick's right.
Yep.
And this one misses. No, it does not miss. Flores thought it missed. Late call from Glenn Brown. He's making the call vocally out on the field, which we don't hear necessarily in our position back here in the press box. We have to wait sometimes for the sign. 0-2 on Flores, advantage. Pablo Migliavaca. That's misses way out. Ezekiel is way over towards left. There's a big hole in center right, but even over in right field there, Pecker is well off the line. Flores, pretty much, Joe, a well-known pull hitter, but he hit one into the right center gap yesterday. This one right back up the middle. Here's one. Here's two. Stopping at second is Sequeira. As that ball hit the air brakes the second it got out onto the grass, Joe, it just stopped. And Bradley Ezekiel had no chance at throwing out anybody. But Rafa Flores coming through in the clutch here for JB. And now a 5-3 lead as we play into the bottom of the thing. You just see that ball die in the grass there with Ezekiel coming in to get it. It looked like it had some pepper on it going through the infield.
But it slowed right down real quick.
Yeah.
Well, good base running by Rogelio Sequeira, too, to stop at second base.
So 2 runners aboard. Juan Villavazo to the plate. And no sign of Nick Patrick making any kind of entrance. And Joe, this inning, Pablo just hasn't had it. That home run, I don't know whether it rattled him or what, but that was the only pitch he had brought up so far. It got hammered by Cesar Rodriguez, and he just hasn't looked the same since.
That's correct, yeah. That threw off his rhythm.
Swing and a miss there by Juan Villavazo. So 1-1.
Se queda una segunda base.
And Joe, Rafa Flores was 0-2 and comes through with that 2 RBI single. This one chopped foul.
Que trae con dos fouls, está un poco intenso ahí, Tuga.
3 of these 4 runs have been scored with 2 out, too.
Rogelio se queda en la segunda almohadilla.
Well, that answers what Hill United did back in the first. They got 2 of their 3 with 2 out.
Rafito Flores. Bateando Tuga. Le canta
Called
de
strike
tercero,
3.
se
Down goes Juan Villavazo.
tira, se va arriba el
But
equipo
J&B
increíble.
take the lead in a real good ball game here. We're going to go to the top of the 6th. It's the team from California out in front, 5-3.
2 Hall of Fame players. 1, a 3-time All-World player and twice the leading hitter at the ISC World Tournament. The other, a 5-time All-World player who led the World Tournament in RBIs in 2008. Reese Casely and Travis Wilson, our teammates, our friends, our family. Congratulations, Reese and Travis, from all of us on the New York Gremlins on your induction into the ISC Hall of Fame.
For the best Bear Tent banter on the airwaves, listen to Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly. Here's some of the biggest stars chatting with 2 of Newfoundland's own, Jason Hill and Steve Mullally. It's unfiltered and uncensored. Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, bye.
We await the presence of Rafa Flores. Oh, he's there. He's made it. He's shaded out there by Glenn Brown. I didn't see him. Somebody else took all the warm-up tosses, but he's back out there. Bruno Matroni at the dish. Hill United Chiefs now trailing by 2 as Ramon Godoy pumps in a strike. And Joe, that's exactly what you want if you are JB. You want Godoy out there pitching with some confidence. This well hit deep center field, way back and off the orange tent. Bruno Matroni gets the Hill United Chiefs back within 1. Boy, that was out of here in a hurry.
That was a clothesline. That was well hit ball.
You'll see it here. Matroni, he knew what was coming. You can see the eyes light up, and he just smashes that off that orange tent in center. And the ball has come back in. I don't think Godoy wants anything to do with it, and they're going to throw that one out. Get that one out of here. Nobody wants that. Woo. That was big.
Well, quick way to reply to the 4 runs put on the board by your opposition.
Well, that is what leaders do, and that is what Bruno Matroni does. Alan Pecker now to the plate. You think this one's over? No.
No.
Not at all. And Pecker lists this one sky, and I mean sky high. And coming in to make the catch is Mariano Montero, and he had to come a long way to get that, and he's going to get a pat on the back from Pena, who's like, thank God you took it because I didn't want anything to do with it. Look at this. Look how high this is. Pena's like, please call this. Thank you. And a good job there by Mariano Montero. Steve Mullally, who had an RBI single back in the first, to the plate. And Joe, we talked for Mullally about not chasing pitches out of the zone, staying focused. And that's a good eye there not to go after that one. Off the plate, ball 1. And that one just upstairs, and Flores has a little conversation. Godoy is going to take a walk to the back of the circle with his back to the plate. He wanted that pitch. A little bit high. And misses off the plate there. So 3-0 to Steve Mullally. And in for a called strike. Now 3-1. Mullally taking all the way. You got to be careful here. You can't hang one in and just try to think you're going to sneak one by Mullally. He has a healthy rip at that one and straight back to the screen. I think Steve would like that one back.
He's got the great ability to refocus. Had a tough pitch called to him on that 3-0 count and set his mind and stopped, refocused, back on the delivery.
Upstairs, ball 4. Good at bat by the veteran. Steve Mullally draws the walk. And that will bring up Josh McGovern, designated player. Josh, a walk and a strikeout. Now they're going to get a pinch runner for Mullally over at first as Isaac Lefebvre is on to run for Mullally, and that's a good trade. And a chat going on. And a mound visit. Bob Berger lets the assistant coach go out and do the mound visits, Joe, because everybody speaks Spanish on the infield. I don't think Bob does. So McGovern way at the back of that right side batter's box, and Godoy opens with a strike. Beautiful night here for ball, Joe. It was high 20s Celsius all day here. The sun was out. It has just cooled off a bit as a couple people up in the stands are putting jackets on, but you still see a lot of shirt sleeves. See some short sleeve windbreakers. This is the kind of weather that the pitchers will love. In for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Josh McGovern. The home run from Bruno Matroni brings the Chiefs within a run. This one just misses downstairs from Godoy. Maybe inside a bit too, but that pitch on the outside corner has been there all night, and see if they go back to that. This one's lifted up. Joe, you got a shot at this one. No, it's going to fall into the stands. Oh, that's a terrible attempt by the fan. He didn't even get that to the top panel. Flores is just going to give them the thumbs down, and then somebody's going to go try and squeeze it through the mesh. There they go. And Rafa Flores, ever playing to the crowd, kind of give the thumbs down to the fan who tried to throw it back over the screen. And you knew that was just never going to work. No, that is far too high for. Without getting up out of your seat, very rarely would anybody in the stands get that back up and over. Just down. Flores looking for the call. Godoy is going to turn his back and go take a walk, shake the head. If I'm Pena, I'm trying to calm down. I was just about to say, if I'm Flores, I'm going to go out and have a visit. He's going to go 3 steps in front of the plate. But I think if I was Flores, I might have gone all the way out and just said, all right, let's reset and
throw
the pitch that we want to throw. Throw one pitch. Yep. Exactly. There's the pitch. Called strike 3. McGovern can't get the bat off the shoulder. And that will bring up Jason Hill. McGovern not happy with his AB. So Jason Hill, first pitch swinging and fouls that one off. Jason's evolved as a hitter, Joe. He was a dead pull hitter at one point in the not too recent past, or the not too distant past, rather, where everything he hit was pulled to the right side. The last couple of years has made some adjustments and a little bit open with the swing now, and can hit the ball to left center, to hit it to right center. Always had more than enough power to hit it out of the park. That's never been the problem with Jason. It can hit it out of the park and never get more than 6 feet of altitude on it.
Jason has really quick hands.
Cowboy in the stance.
But if you watch Jason swing, his hands follow through so quickly.
That is strike on the outside corner. One ball, 2 strikes. Roman Godoy trying to strand Alan Pecker. Or Isaac Lefebvre, rather. He's out there from Malali, isn't he? Isaac Lefebvre. And no sign of Lefebvre being on the move either. Respect for the arm for Flores behind the plate. Now 2-2. And this one is chopped in the air. And they lob it to first. And
I think he called foul ball.
Did he call foul ball?
Yep.
Okay.
I think.
Well, he must, because Hilly is walking back to the plate. Because he was out at first, and nobody made a call. So you and I are watching Hilly run up first, and not really the home plate umpire for the call. And we don't really hear the foul call from where we are. It would be great if it was loud and proud, but I didn't hear it. So we'll reset, 2-2. This one is popped up in the air, and that's an easy grab for the third baseman. And we'll put that away. Rogelio Sequeira will end the Hill United Chiefs in the top of the 6th. We'll go to the bottom half. J&B leading by 1. Got ourselves a heck of a ball game, Joe. Still no idea how this one is going to turn out.
The annual Boys' Summer Tournament is held every July at the Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time fast pitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill in the grounds can't be beat. Reduced-rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys' Summer Tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at deankane16@gmail.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the broadcast program. The annual Boys is
Bienvenidos en la parte baja del sexto episodio.
We're back for the bottom of the sixth inning. Mariano Montero, Cesar Rodriguez, Yusuf Davis, 7, 8, and 9 for JB. Agora Hills, California. The Chiefs, of course, Oswego, Ontario. The Six Nations along the Grand River near Brantford, Ontario. That pitch off the outside corner.
Hill United Chiefs trying to shut the door. JB trying to add some insurance runs. Who's going to win?
Montero pulls this one hopper to Shane Boland. Quick toss over the first, and just that quick. Montero out.
Rodríguez, César Rodríguez Peña, también seleccionado mexicano. Gran bateador de potencia y fuerza, que se fue para la calle en su montura anterior. Gran bateador, se fue haciendo otra vez un Biglia Vaca. Lo recibe como el primer strike. No, saludos a Fabiola Reyes, saludos a Juan José Torreyes, en sintonía desde Acarigua, Venezuela. Me encanta Caribe. He ido 2 veces este año a Portuguesa.
Hot shot off the bat of Cesar Rodriguez. And he is aboard with a base hit. His last 2 at bats, Joe, he had the home run and just smoked that one in the 5.5 hole.
Great production out of that number 8 spot for JB.
I think that is going to be it. As you see, smashed in the 5.5 hole. I think that's going to be it for Pablo, as Jeff Ellsworth will come out and get the ball. And I wondered, Joe, if maybe we may have seen that visit a little bit earlier, but Nick Patrick, presumably, will be making his way onto the diamond from somewhere. Oh, he's been over on the other diamond adjacent warming up. So, Joe, we're going to take a break and come back as Nick Patrick will make his way on. Stay with us on the ISC network.
Whatever your delivery requirements are across North America, Skelton Truck Lines provides you with reliable, safe, and high-quality service at a fair price. Skelton Truck Lines equipment is satellite tracked and delivers small parcel, less than truckload, and expedited shipments throughout Canada and the U.S. With over 50 years of experience and more than 50 trucks serving 4 divisions, Skelton Truck Lines is a thriving Ontario business and a proud fastball sponsor. Visit us online at skeltontruck.com. Thanks to Mike Skelton for supporting the broadcast program. Whatever your delivery requirements are across North America, Skelton Truck Lines provides you with reliable, safe, and high-quality service.
I would tell you that that is the lovely Catrona Lafrano, but she's hiding behind the umbrella, Joe.
La patrona Lofrano.
Our fantastic camera operator. Oh, there. Well, I see a hand waving, but I can't see anything else. Happy anniversary to Luciano and Catrano. 9 years happily married and spending it with you and us at the ISC World Tournament here in Moline, Illinois. The ISC Network, Blair Setford, Joe Todd, Luciano Catrona, and Jordan. We are the last ones in the house.
Ella también descansa, gracias. Gracias, mi amigo Conta, gracias por la invitación a Monterrey. Súper agradecido y bendecido de ir para allá con ustedes a llevarse esos softball y ese equipo increíble al mundo entero. Gracias. Siempre seré agradecido con ustedes. Ahorita, señores, regresamos al parque de pelota.
So Yusuf Davis will come to the plate to face Nick Patrick. There's Catrona. She's come out of hiding. And back in focus.
Mira, bateador ahora Yusuf Davis, último bate en alineación.
Patrick from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan in Western Canada. This one up and in to Davis, and a called strike. Did that clip the bat?
It sounded like a
I
bat.
thought maybe I kind of heard tick tick as Bruno caught it. So we'll see here on the replay. Yeah, I think that got a piece of the bat, so a foul. You can just see the way Yusuf dropped his head. That probably did. So strike one.
En Tijuana, dice Javier Arán, no hay manera. ¿Dónde está Yusuf Davis? Hay un nuevo lanzador, Patrick.
And there's a called strike, so way up in the count, 0-2. Patrick, Joe, you and I saw him at the 2016 Junior Canadians that were being held in Tavistock, Ontario that year. And I thought at the time that he was the best of that particular crop that were in junior. To me, he looked like he was head and shoulders above the other teams or the other guys that were there, but didn't make it to the finals. That took a funny hop. Shales made the play at the bag, but it took a funny hop, and I wonder if that affected his throw to first. It was a little bit errant. And obviously, you got to rush it to try and get Yusuf Davis, but Nick Shales was able to handle the hop at least anyway. We'll see that on a replay. Do we have a replay of that one?
No salió replay. Sorry, my friend.
No replay there? Okay. All right, no worries. It looked like it just took a bit of a turn on Shales right as it got to the bag.
A little bit of spin on the ball, maybe.
Ahí está, se viene a batir ahora Peña, el primer bate del equipo GMB. En la aparición anterior se hizo un hitazo imparable.
This one out to right. Pecker over in the corner will make the catch, and that will be it for JB. In the bottom of the sixth, we'll go to the top of the seventh. Hill United need one to tie.
Murphy's Fish and Chips is not only a great place to get some of the best seafood in Canada, but is also one of the best fastball sponsors in the game. Voted Nova Scotia's best fish and chips by Eastlink TV, Murphy's is a family institution since 1996 and a proud fastball sponsor of many Canadian and ISC championship teams. Open 7 days a week. Come join us for our famous English-style fish and chips or any of our daily specials. Murphy's is located at 88 Esplanade in Truro, Nova Scotia. We thank Dave T. Anderson and Murphy's Fish and Chips for their commitment to fastball and the broadcast program. Murphy's Fish and Chips.
En vivo sigue ahí el lanzador argentino Román Godoy, que está interesado de ganar la partida. Este lanzador argentino está haciendo una chamba increíble en el pitch and play desde el juego pasado, que lo vimos contra un excelente equipo de los Lumberjacks, si no me equivoco, y ahora se enfrenta a Tony González, que le sacó la bola en el turno anterior.
Tony Gonzalez already has a home run in this game. Here's a little flare, and that is going to fall in for a base hit right over the head of Lenny Viavazzo. Falls into right field, and aboard is the tying run. And back to the top of the shop, Joe Todd for their fourth look at Roman Godoy, Shane Boland, Nick Shales, Bradley Ezekiel. If you're going to win this game, you got to go through the top of the shop. And Joe, the reputation for Hill United used to be that they were not a great come-from-behind team. I can tell you that is rubbish. That this team will fight to the bitter end. I've seen several comeback victories for Hill this year, including a very memorable one in the Hallman tournament where they scored 4 on the Bear Creek Express team to come back and win that game.
That never give up attitude.
Called strike on Boland as he's showing bunt.
Tony.
Shane handles the bat very well.
Tony Gonzalez being a great spark plug tonight for Hill United Chiefs. Coming out of that 9-hole. Struck out back in the second, but haven't been able to get him out.
Line shot, back to first, double play. They got him. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Gonzalez breaking with the contact, but that was a liner right into the glove of Rogelio Sequeira, and he threw a seed to first. Here it is. Boom. And out just that quick.
Great arm over there by Rogelio Sequeira. Threw a bullet.
And just like that, the Hill United Chiefs down to their final out. Shales chases for strike 1. Manolo Vargas, our pleasure to bring this to you. Thank you, everybody who's been with us this difficult night.
En el segundo estrella Nick Chain, que está en problemas ya en la guillotina de Román Godoy, haciendo un increíble trabajo en el pitch and play. Mañana es
Godoy
juego pasado también,
time.
amigo Jorge Robert, estamos apenas en el día miércoles, entonces termina el sábado. Así te invito a que te metas a nuestras redes sociales para que veas todo. Ay, así es fácil. Presenta a Román Godoy.
And that one upstairs.
Mala. Nick Chain, capitán del equipo de Hill United Chiefs.
Oh. Yeah, I got a piece of him.
Pelotazo recibe ahí Rafito Flores.
Flores is a tough guy, but those hurt when they bite.
Don't rub it. That will leave a mark tomorrow.
Ahí está Román Godoy haciendo un impecable trabajo. 121 picheos tiene Román Godoy. Va tirando el 122 con Chet Boland de 2-1. Mañana estaremos transmitiendo.
It's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Nick Shales. The Chiefs down to their final strike, and this one fouled back to the screen. Not too many guys you'd rather have at the plate right now than Nick Shales if you are in this situation, Joe.
Yeah, good clutch hitter. Great focus at the plate. He's been in this scenario before. He will match up fine with Roman Godoy.
Off the outside corner, and that one through Flores, and Bradley Ezekiel does him a favor and rolls it back. Upstairs, yes, he did, says our first base umpire. That's the ball game. JB punched their ticket to the winner's bracket semifinal. Hill United will drop into the loser's bracket. Joe Todd, not a surprise. This was the result last week. And JB, they are for real.
Great. We had talked earlier in the start of the game, going to be a one-run ball game when we got to the 7th inning. Exactly that. The big 4 runs and 4 hits put on the board in the bottom of the 5th inning were too much to overcome.
Yeah, JB using the long ball, and that was the difference today for the JB squad. Joe, we will be back on the air tomorrow, starting with the ISC2 championship game, and then we'll bring you those 2 big winner bracket semifinals. Thanks for joining us here tonight on the ISC Network. We appreciate all you viewers and staying with us late into the evening. Thanks, and have a great night.